avoid pulling down the same person that God used to help you, that God used to strengthen you. Especially at a time when very few people believed in you. Nobody gave you opportunity or chance. Nobody considered you as someone with any potential. But there was someone that believed in you at that time. When your glory now begins to manifest, be careful not to repay good with evil with such persons. Avoid saying or doing things that could bring disrepute and dishonor to someone that intentionally brought you recognition. Someone that intentionally brought you honor. Don't repay such persons with dishonor. Even by the things you say. By the things you say. Don't become a pain to someone you obviously gained from. Don't become a pain to someone you obviously gained from. Don't destroy the image or fortunes of someone who gladly helped to build you up. Not only the person, continuously do things to build you up. The person always did it happily and with sense of gladness. Don't turn around and destroy the image of that same man or that same woman. Never treat with spite and contempt someone who invested something useful to your life. Yes. As a pastor who is privileged to interact with members over the years, I know what parents have gone through to send their children to school. Not just school, a good school. So tomorrow, you are not aware. As a child, you are not aware. You just know, that of course your parents send you to school, but you don't know the difficulties. How much they sacrificed, went the extra mile to be able to send you to such good schools. Sometimes they sold things that they never wanted to sell in order to pay your bills. You don't know any of those things. And tomorrow, one slight thing happens and you are offended with your parents and you feel you no longer greet them. God knew ahead and he said, no, in the process of life, I give you this commandment. Honor your father. Honor your father. Honor your mother. Never treat with spite and contempt someone who invested something. If someone didn't go to school and the person recognized that school is good and the person goes the extra mile to send you to school, you don't now become a graduate and tell your mother or your father that you illiterate. You illiterate. He could have made you an illiterate as well by refusing to send you to school. But he wanted you to become better than him. And so he sent you to good schools. Don't treat that same person tomorrow with spite, with contempt. Or someone was giving you money, and that money was all you were receiving from anywhere at that time. And then later in life, how much did you even give me? How much is it? In fact, tell me so I can pay you back. I can add it up and pay you back. But at that time, don't come to a point where, how much did you even give me that time? How much is it? Instead of 50,000, you take 100,000 now, times 2. So that I can rest. Be careful. Be very careful. There are people that God will use for a stage in your life. Your primary school teacher is important. Yes, not only your university lecturer. Those who taught you in secondary school, they are important. in daycare, they are important. They all played a role. Don't look down on them in the process of maturity. Don't. Avoid becoming an arrow of betrayal to someone that promoted your interest or protected your interest. Don't become an arrow of betrayal. However, so we don't also mix up this message in any way with discipline, with correction. Please. And people who have this sense of entitlement, he didn't help me, and he has money. He didn't do this, and she has the influence. There are people with that sense of entitlement, and they never go far in life on their own because of that sense of entitlement. We must not indulge them. So let's not confuse this message, because what we are talking about has to do more with instances of unfair treatment. Unfair. Let me explain better. In Psalm 18, 25 to 26, Psalm 18, 25 to 26, Contemporary English Version, it says, "You are always loyal to your loyal people." This is God's character, and we can only work with God's template. You are faithful to who? The faithful. Then verse 26, it says, "With all who are sincere, you are sincere. But you treat the unfaithful as their deeds deserve." But you treat the unfaithful. How? As their deeds deserve. You don't expect to benefit everything that was done for all the children because you are one of the children. A time will come when what will be given to you will be based on how you treated your father, how you treated your mother. It's a sense of entitlement to always assume that when it comes to reward, you lay claim. Sometimes you even want to use your age over the other children to even demand something better. When you know and they know that even when you have the opportunity, you never give the best you could have done. It's as your deeds deserve. A negative or hard treatment is not always a bad seed. Please take note so we don't get this message wrong. There are people you need to discipline. There are people that need to be corrected. There are people that need to be suspended. There are people that need to be removed. In fact, if you don't do it, you are not helping them. That person is going to become a more terrible person. If it's pride, if it's a bad attitude, it's going to get worse because there was never correction. So when that person will be corrected in the future, the person will see it as unfair treatment because he or she has always been behaving that way and nobody ever corrected him. Starting from the father, starting from the mother. Nobody ever told him you are proud, you are rude, you are disrespectful. Even when you don't agree, when you keep on hearing the same thing about yourself, people keep on saying you are proud. People keep on saying you are too self-centered. And these are people that don't know themselves. At a point, it will become clear to your conscience that there should be some truth in what these people are complaining about. But when you never hear that, and then suddenly you just find yourself somewhere, and then people are now complaining that you are this, and these are things you have never heard about, there will be problem because you will never agree that you have that problem, even though you really have it. So when you give negative treatment, hard treatment to someone intentionally, to someone who rightly deserves to be so treated, it's not a bad seed. It's correction. In fact, God will bless you for doing so. A disciplined father, mother, teacher, lecturer receives blessings every time they correct and discipline those under their oversight. People may say all kinds of things about them. But check it out. Later in life, the same people that were complaining, even the same children and students, it's too this, it's too this, are the same that we appreciate and celebrate that person. Because with time, they would recognize that the person was doing the right thing and actually help to shape them, cop some bad tendencies that they had and shape them to grow up in life in the right direction. That is why you hear people say, it serves him right. It serves her right. Why? That treatment, that suspension, that removal is in order with this particular person. So someone that rightly deserves to be punished, suspended, expelled, rejected, removed. It's there in Galatians 6:7. It said, be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatever a man soweth, you cannot put up a bad attitude and be honored. Galatians 6:9-10. Good News Translation. It says, so don't let us not become tired of doing good. For if we do not give up, the time will come when we will reap the harvest. Those who think you don't know what you are doing, very soon God is about to vindicate you. What did he say in verse 10? It says, so then, as often as we have the chance, we should do good to everyone, and especially to those who belong to our family in the faith. Hebrews 6 verse 10, New Living Translation. He said, for God is not unjust. He will not forget how hard you have worked for him. He will not forget. And how you have shown your love to him. How? By caring for other believers. As you still do. Acts chapter 10 verse 4. Acts chapter 10 verse 4. Amplified Bible Classic Edition, it says, and he, gazing intently at him, became frightened and said, what is it, Lord? And the angel said to him, your prayers and your generous gifts to the poor have come up as a sacrifice to God and have been remembered by him. Have been remembered by him. Has been remembered by him. Something good is coming. Something good is coming. Whether the devil likes it or not, you are about to share a new testimony.